Hi, I'm Senior Grandmaster Jimenez from Kajukenbo Live, coming from South Lake Tahoe, California. Today what we have on our agenda is how do you look for a good studio for yourself or your children. And I'll give you a few tips. I've had my studio for over 40 years in the same location, so I've had a lot of people come in and come and go. What I look for at first, if I was a parent, not knowing nothing about martial arts, what I would do is when I walk in the studio and I would kind of look around and see how clean it is. And if you walk in there and it's a pigsty and it smells and it's just really filthy, then it shows a little bit of lack of integrity for the teacher, because having it like that, knowing the parents would come in. For me, that's a pet peeve. I just like everything clean. My studio, when they left at nighttime, it was always vacuumed, or I did it first thing in the morning. Vacuumed, the bathrooms were clean and spotless. So when the parents did come in and wanted to use the bathroom, it was clean. And that showed it reflected on me. Now, when you walk in and you want to know about the teacher, look at the wall. Let's say he's a black belt, 7th degree. What I want to see on that wall, I want to see his certificates showing the same studio giving him out those 7 degrees, the same teacher giving him those degrees. I don't want to look at a wall and see a rainbow wall of all kinds of different certificates from different styles or different teachers working his way up to 7th degree. Because that uses a red flag right there, and that means that he's been like jumping rank or just trying to find somebody to promote him. So that's a big red flag. Another red flag, if you look on the wall and you see a dozen, I'm in the Hall of Fame a dozen times all over the walls, that's another big red flag. Because 99% of the Hall of Fames, there's only a few out there that are real Hall of Fames. And when you get a Hall of Fame, you don't get charged. All the other ones, it's a money thing, and you put your $200 in, and they give you a certificate and a plaque and pat you on the back and tell you how great you are, and they don't even know who you are because it's a money thing. So for me, when I see somebody that's got a dozen Hall of Fames all over the wall, and it's kind of tacky, and it just shows it so cheap because you're paying for them, you're not earning them, And then what I would do too is I'd always ask for a free lesson. What I used to do is I always gave my studios, the people that came in, I always gave them a free week. And I always offered it to them. I said, come in, try it for a week. If you like it, sign up. If you don't like it, that's okay. We can part friends. 99% of the time, they tried it the first night and they came in and signed up that night. And when they sign up, they usually do, I sign everybody up for a 12-month contract. So when they bring up a contract, don't be afraid of that. Because what the contract does, it does 2 things. It gives you and the teacher a commitment. That means I have you for 12 months. And I can work with you. Because the average child will come into martial arts, they'll maybe last a couple months, and then they want to go in the summertime, I want to go play with my friends, I don't want to go to karate. And the parents think in their mind, I'm not under contract, so I'll just quit and I'll bring it back later. And it's not good for the child, it's not good for the teacher, because he put those few months in there to help you and then you're gone. With a contract, that word again, commitment. It's going to be no, you need to stay there and you need to train. And then that usually happens as the student usually becomes a really good student for that. Now, fees. There's someone come in there and it can be the real expensive, or you go in their studio and it's really, really cheap. Remember, cheap's always not the best. It's a proven fact. If you have 2 forks and they're both the same, if I sell a fork for $1 or I sell a fork for $5, the average person will buy the $5 fork because they think the $5 fork is better. So it's not necessarily the cheapest, and it's not necessarily going to be the best because you're the highest. If you got like an in-between price and stuff, that's fine. When I was in San Leandro, my studio, this is back, in the early days, I charged $65 a month. Now, today, that's nothing. It's like $165 a month. But back then, I was a little bit high. I wasn't the highest, but I was kind of a little bit high. And then people go, oh, I can't afford that. I would point them down the studio, down the street, which taught Kajukenbo, and it was a good teacher. And I know at that time he was only charging, I think, $25 a month. And they said, oh, thank you. And they left. And they wound up coming back that night, oh, no, we want to sign up with you. So I always give them that opportunity. So if you get an instructor that gives you that opportunity and points you to a good way, that's another kind of good sign to do that. Now, the belt testing fees. Okay, a lot of studios do that because they have to make money to pay their rent because the rent today is so expensive. I was lucky because I owned my building and outright, so I didn't have to worry about a big payment or anything. But I never charged any of my students a belt testing fee because I felt that they earned it. They're not going to pay for it. So that was my gift to them, giving them their belt and their certificates. It came from me. They put the hard work into it. I recuperated by giving them something. That doesn't mean belt testing fees are bad. A lot of studios do that. But then a lot of studios take advantage of that, and they actually hurt the students more than they do helping them, trying to make a couple extra dollars on a Friday night. So kind of keep that in line. Now, they say that there's what they call a black belt class or a black belt club. Okay, EFC tried to get me to do it. I told them no, because number one, in 12 months, you cannot give anybody a black belt in 12 months, especially in Kajukenbo. Kajukenbo, you're looking at 6 years plus, all the way up to get a black belt. And that's training almost every day and working your butt off. That's not coming in once or twice a week and, I'm there for my hour and I leave. They're there, I've had black belts, got their black belts, and they've been with me for 30 years. And they come in 5-6 nights a week, every night. So that's one thing you want to kind of stay away from, because all that is just a plur to get more money out of you. And again, I even if I said, okay, I'm going to put you in this 12-month black belt course, I can't guarantee you I'm going to give you a black belt in 12 months. It's just not up to me. It would be up to you how hard you work. But obviously, I would never do that. But I'm just giving you an example. So it's just it's not an Einstein move. So any martial arts studio tells you they can give your son or your daughter or yourself a black belt in a year or 2 years, instantly you need to get up and walk out. Because that's the biggest red flag right there, is the belt testing thing and the black belt club and stuff like that. You just have to stay away from that kind of stuff. Now, you want to also watch the instructor, how he teaches your child. If he's got a class of 50 people in the class, all children, and you know how children are, most don't mind, and they run all over. But if you get that instructor to get those 50 kids at set position and minding through the whole hour class or hour and a half class or whatever you have, that shows a good teacher, because he can control the class and the students are listening to him. They're not bored with him. They're not wandering all over. They're listening. So that right there shows you right there that's a good, very good teacher. Now, my biggest pet peeve too is, and I've had this several times, people ask me this. They come in the studio and they want to sign up, and I tell them everything I just told you. I tell them everything like that, and then they say, well, what do you think about Joe Blow's studio down the street? What do you think about them? Now, I don't care if that studio is the worst studio in the Bay Area or wherever you're from. The worst thing you can do is badmouth that studio or that teacher. Because a true grandmaster, a true professor, a true Sigon will not sit there and say, that person's no good, he sucks, don't go there, you need to come here. Because all that does is make you look bad. So on something like that, instantly, if that person is bad mouthing somebody, again, thank you. You get up and you walk out. And thank you for your time. That's what you need to do. And there's just a few things right there that I pointed out that you need to watch out for. And so when you go into a studio, it doesn't make a difference. The teacher can sit there and tell you won, 10 world champions like that, or, I got thousands of trophies and stuff like that. It really doesn't. It means something because, but it doesn't really mean anything because there's a lot of people out there that just make that kind of stuff up. And if you're really into the martial arts and you really do your homework, you'll know who a true martial artist is when you walk in that door. I've had people come in as black belts and tell me they were a black belt from another studio. And the first thing I ask, I go, "Oh, really? Who's your teacher?" I forgot his name. Red flag. You would never forget your teacher's name. So, on the other side of the desk, that's what I get. Now, another thing too. Let's say, for example, you take martial arts from another, I'm using Kajukenbo, another Kajukenbo studio, and I know the teacher. You come to me and you say, "Hey, I'm leaving so-and-so because I don't want to be there no more. I want to come and train with you guys." The first thing I do after that student leaves is I call the instructor up. And I said, "I had so-and-so come in and he wants to train here. What's going on?" For me, and there's another studio, I leave the names out. Another studio, we used to do that back and forth all the time. He would call me, I would call him. "Hey, I got you a student here that wants to sign up. Tell me what's going on." Now, we both would say, "Wow, just go ahead and take him, take her." But they would tell me the story. "Just be careful because of this, and that." But we always had that mutual respect. And that shows right there good teachers. Because it's not about like, "Oh boy, I got his student." Because that's really immature and it's just silly. So if you work together, everybody will build a lot of good martial artists. And so those are the little things that you need to watch out for. So I hope this video helped you out there. Please, if you're gonna sign your children up, watch the video. Listen to what I said and just kind of comprehend that in your head when you go into a martial arts studio and just do what I said. Look around, and you pretty much it'll explain to yourself what you need to see. And if you have any questions, you can call me at. You can text me. You can email me at wwkaa@aol.com. And I can ask you any questions that you want to know, give you some more little advice. We're here all the time. When you go to our YouTube channel and podcast, please hit subscribe so you can be a member of our martial arts family. And again, I'm Sifu Grandmaster Jimenez from Kajukenbo Live from South Lake Tahoe, California. And again, thank you for listening to me.